Next topic is automatic attribute key name generation when you're using model map and model and view. What I mean by that is that typically you specify the key name when you're adding an attribute, but if you don't specify the name of the attribute attribute key name, then it will be generated for you. So this is what we're going to talk about. It's probably not that important topic because in practice it is recommended that you always specify the key name explicitly so that it's a bit easier to read the code. Okay, so key name generation strategy. In case you don't specify the key name of the model attribute, if it's a scalar object, meaning single object, then it will use the short class name of the object class. So suppose if you have x.y, the package, and the user class, and then the key name will be user, small letter u and s-e-r. If you happen to have a registration class and then object, when you're adding registration object, then the key will be registration. For collection object, suppose if you have x.y package and you have array of user, then the name of the key that will be automatically generated if you don't specify the key name is going to be user list. Same thing for foo. If you have a foo array, then it will generate the foo list as a key name. And basically if you have an array list instead of array of user type, and then again it will use user list as the name of the key. So this is an example. Suppose we have a method called the handle request, and it does receive model map object. And here, suppose if you have array list of item type. Okay, so we have cart items that's representing list of items, and we just add 2 items here. And we also have the user object, which is a user type. So let's see an example. Usually when you add the key value pair model attribute, you want to specify name of the attribute like an item list. So that is a better practice. Okay, but if you don't specify, it will be generated. So this code model map.add object, you specify key name explicitly, and here if you call add attribute for model map object, this one should be add attribute rather than add object. So my mistake here. So if you don't specify the item list, then item list will be automatically generated as a key name. Okay. For user scalar object, so this one should be when you're adding a user without specifying user key name, then user will be automatically generated as a key. So you should be able to access item list and user as key names in your JSP pages. Okay, so that is a case when you're using model map. When you're using model and view, pretty much the same deal. Okay, so the add object specifying item list explicitly, that's the same thing as without specifying it, then it will create the item list. Okay, if it is in fact the array list of car, then it will generate car list as name of the key. The same thing for this guy user. Okay, so that is the end of the presentation, exercise 4. So exercise 4 is I just already run the application. So I'm already run the application, and when I do model map, it's just display the shopping cart from item list. Okay, and in here model and view, if I'm using model and view, again it actually is from the shop item list, and the code is pretty straightforward. This is the same code that I showed you. So here I have item list, and so when I add an attribute of car items, it will automatically generate item list. Okay, this is a case that I'm using model and view case. Okay, and this is item and this is user, and so that's pretty straightforward. So for your own exercise, create another domain class called the student.java, which contains a student name and grade, and then create a few instances of student object and add it to a model map using automatic key generation and access the student object in the JSP page. So if you take a look at the JSP page, of course, in this example, you should be able to see it's using item list as a key name. So let's take a look at the views, shopping cart, and we are using item list. Okay, so if you change this guy, suppose if you change, let's say we are gonna actually have, for the sake of this exercise, instead of item, I'm gonna actually change the name to car. Okay, so I'm gonna just say the car finish. So we have a car object, and so when you take a look at the controller, so this is a list of cars. So in this case, it will actually add car list as a key value. So now, if I run this application without changing JSP page, it will not work. So, I'm gonna actually change shopping cart here, and here now I should be able to say car. Okay, and we'll say yeah, so as long as I have a car list, that should be fine. And this one, car list, like this. Okay, and save the change, and let's run this application again. Run as Java application. Yeah, this is a case where you are actually accessing user. Okay, so now go over here and refresh the page. Now we should be able to see this guy. It works. So so yes, it's not from call list, but it's not from item list, but should be call list. So yeah, I should actually change this one to the call list as well, like this. Okay, all right. So let's do the exercise of this one for 10 minutes, and then we'll move on. You don't see the project in the lab. It should be actually, you should actually download it again, because I think I made a change as of yesterday. So if you downloaded the hands-on lab, you probably don't see the lab.